Galal Yafai versus Tommy Frank, 10 rounds in the flyweight division. This is the main event over in the UK this weekend on Saturday, and I think it's going to be an interesting one. Let's get into it. Let's start with the two-time Olympian Galal Yafai. 4 wins, no losses, 3 wins by way of knockout. The first time I saw him fight was when he fought Miguel Cartagena, I believe it was last year on the undercard of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. And I must say, Yafai is an exciting fighter to watch, man. I mean, he's on a mission inside the ring as soon as the bell rings. More times than not, he is going to be the smaller guy in the ring. I mean, he's 5'4", right? So he needs to get on the inside and needs to get on the inside early. And he knows how to do just that. I mean, he knows how to play to his strengths and get to his spots. Against Cartagena, I don't remember the last time I saw so many punches thrown in the first round by one person and so little by another. You know what I'm saying? You could immediately tell that his opponent was overwhelmed and really wasn't sure what to do. Yafai never let the man get comfortable, bro. He closed the show. He closed out the show in the second round, but it was a much better fight than it was his first fight. In his first fight, he was kind of overly excited to me and got himself countered when he fought Carlos Batista. But in this fight, you could tell that he was a little bit more patient with certain things that he was doing. But then again, he was able to get away with it because he just let his hands go so much and his opponent didn't really fight back. He really couldn't make a mistake that day, right? It was just his night and he completely dominated that fight, man. But again, this fight around, he was more composed and again, just completely overwhelmed his opponent, and he barely took any punishment that fight either. He barely got hit. Now, in his most recent fight, when he fought Moses Calaruz, who had been in 47 professional fights, man, he was more experienced. He was the more experienced fighter. But when the fight started, Yafai was the one controlling the fight, and he looked like the more experienced fighter. What I liked about Yafai in that fight, man, was that he slowed things down. Right? He adapted, he adjusted already, right? He was more accurate with the shots, right? Countered with precision, right? Set up his shots well and answered back when Calaruz was pushing the fight. He didn't neglect his jab. He mixed the levels of his attacks, didn't get so fixated on the knockout that he only went for the head. He went to the body and things opened up for him. And the other thing that stuck out to me was the communication between him and his coach in the corner, right? They gave him solid, sound advice, and he would go out there and do what he was told to do, and it worked. Now, he closed out that show against Calaruz in 4 rounds, right? But that 4th round, man, was an excellent round where everything just came together for him and he landed the right shot and it was over with, right? A very impressive performance. He continues to improve. You know, his last fight before that, right, was a split decision win. But in that fight, he just looked a little bit bored and he was just going through the motions, right? But he's going to continue to improve the more he fights, especially when the guys are higher level of competition. He seems like a guy to me that the better his opponent is, he's going to rise to the occasion, right? I see why when you watch him fight, I see why they are pushing him each fight to speed up his process a little bit, right? He has a lot of skill. Even though he doesn't have a lot of professional fights, you can see why they think highly of him. But let's talk about his opponent, Tommy Frank. 15 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, and 3 wins by way of knockout. This is his 2nd fight this year. He's got the height advantage. He's got the reach advantage coming in, right? So it'll be interesting to see if he can use those advantages to keep Yafai off of him. He's a bit of a slow starter, but he's got a good jab, nice straight hand. He's prepared to fight, man. I mean, this is a guy who doesn't mind staying in the pocket and trading shots. When he fought Hugo Caneros, he stayed right there in the pocket with him both fights. It didn't work out in his favor, but it goes to show the level of toughness and belief that he has in himself and his skills, right? He can box too. He can fight on the outside and make things a little bit more challenging for his opponents. That's why I'm interested to see if he is going to use his physical advantages in this fight. In his last fight, he fought Jay Harris even though he lost that fight, I thought it was a very good performance from Tommy Frank, man. It was a back and forth fight between both men. He had Joe Harris bloody a little bit in the fight. He made him work for that win. But in the 10th round, when it got stopped, that 10th round, he looked gassed to me more than anything. He couldn't keep his hands up. He was getting clipped from every angle by Harris. Whatever Harris was throwing, seemed like it was getting through. He wasn't able to weather the storm, and his corner stopped the fight. I thought it was a smart stoppage. But also, too, man, he wasn't out of the fight. He was in the fight. It was a close fight, but he was just exhausted, man. The fatigue got to him that night. So he's definitely going to be looking to bounce back from that performance and do it in a beautiful fashion, man. So hopefully, his conditioning is right. He's had a good camp, because this is going to be a good fight for him, man. And so who wins? When the pressure was on Tommy Frank in his last fight, he gassed out. Yafai is a guy who throws a whole lot of punches consistently throughout the rounds. He is going to wear you down. You're going to have to weather some storms when you face this guy, but even weathering the storms takes a little bit out of you each round. But I'm curious, as I said, to see what type of game plan will Frank come in, because that's going to determine how this fight goes, right? Is he going to use his physical strength to his advantage if he chooses to fight on the outside, or is he going to take that risk and fight on the inside against the smaller man? So a lot of questions for me, but I like Galal Yafai to win this fight by stoppage, man. I think Frank is going to try and stand in the pocket and take that risk. And I don't think it is going to work out in his favor. He's going to have to throw a whole lot more punches. He's going to have to take a whole lot more risk. He's going to have to let his hands go completely. Yafai doesn't have that problem, man. He is going to let the hands fly as soon as that ring starts, as soon as he's able to get in close. You best believe the punches are going to come, and they're going to come heavily. And Yafai, in my opinion, and I say this with the most respect, right? Yafai is more talented and has more ways to win in this fight to me, right? Yeah, talent doesn't always win fights, of course. It's boxing. Anything can happen. But this weekend, man, I think Yafai is going to shine, and I think he's going to do it in convincing fashion. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. We got a membership section going on the channel. I don't always get to do all the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. Or if you would like to become a member just to support the channel, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated as well. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate each of you. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.